Hey everybody, Moon Story here. Okay, so again, this is going to be unscripted again, but I'm not going to call this Moon Story Rambles because this isn't really much of a discussion topic. Today, we are actually going to be doing a tutorial video. For those of you who don't know, on the Multi-Fandom Amino, I did a poll seeing what people would want me to do a drawing tutorial of. And, surprise, surprise, cats won. So, I am going to be doing a tutorial on how I draw my warrior cats. So, since I'm a little bit more familiar with it, I am going to be drawing my Blood Clan OC, Twilight Bane. So, let's begin, and forgive me if the video looks a little weird. I'm doing this all traditionally, so. First things first. As per with all my drawings, we want to start with a circle. Let's see, right about here. I just usually use it as a general rule of thumb. Any drawing you're doing, always start off with the circle for the head. Always. Okay then. So, now. Again, as I said, you always start off with the circle. If this were human, I'd be having to go down this way. But, since this is cat, and we're going side view, what we're going to do is move a little bit to the left, go straight down, and move a little bit left to the left again, down, a little bit to right, down, and there we go. Now, this doesn't really look much like a cat at the moment, but that'll change. I have a tendency to make the muzzles of cats a little bit shorter because, well, they're a lot more flat-faced than, say, a dog or a horse. So next are the ears. My cat ears are the whole thing that I'm specific with. It's the thing that kind of separates them from my ponies and other animals. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to start right here, draw a line straight up, and then I'm going to make a curved line up here, and then a curved line down. Want to round that out a little bit. You see, I have a tendency to make cat ears a little bigger than they should be, but that's my cat ear. Well, let's see if I can get a better view of it. Yep, there we go. Alright. So now, we start with the body. I have this general rule of thumb when it comes to animals. Their neck, unlike a human's body, like most four-legged animals' necks are almost like the diameter of their torso, just a little smaller. So, since we're just going to be doing a sitting pose, I make it a little rule here to make it kind of curved. Same thing with the neck. And then for cats it's a little tricky. You're gonna add a shoulder blade here, assuming you're doing like a wildcat. And you're actually going to go out a little bit. And then down. this will give your cat a look that like they are sitting tall. Now, we're going to... Oh goodness, this video is a mess. We are going to go around... since this is a Blood Clan cat, we're gonna make him a little thinner. And then, now comes the legs. I usually go like this. My style's a little bit more cartoony, so it doesn't really have to look perfect. So I go for a little bit more of an edged look. I know that's not how you're supposed to do it, but just make the paws here. Since they're flat against the ground, they don't need that little curve at the back like they usually have. And then the front legs. Since this is a little bit more of a muscular cat, we're going to try and make it a little bit more proportioned. So, say that this is the top of the shoulder. We're going to go around and use that as a base for the width of the front leg. Alright, now we're going to do that little bit of curve I said from before. Then do the paw. Move it up a little bit. Now, granted, the leg usually looks a little bit better than that, but you know, once you're on camera, everything you do instantly looks 1,000 times worse than it actually is. Sorry, I just ate, so. Alright, so now we're gonna do the tail. Twilight Bane is, for all intents and purposes, very fluffy. So, there's no better way to get this across by giving her a fluffy tail. Oh, this is so awkward to do at this angle. So, a tail is pretty easy. You just gotta make sure it looks swishy. Is that a word? Swishy? Whatever, it's a word now. Simply because I'm a sucker for tails and making things look over dramatic, I always make the tail a little bit bigger than they should be. Because, I mean, come on, what cat's tail is actually as big as they are? But, you know, I like it. And voila, she looks fluffy. Alright, so now that we kind of have like the base sketch here, this is where things are going to look fun. So, first thing we're going to do after all this is make the collar. As Blood Clan cats have that very specific collar. So, instead of just doing like a straight band like most people do, what I like to do is I like to start it here and kind of curve, then go over a band. It makes it look a little bit better. And then do this. Again, it usually looks a lot better. Anyone who's seen my drawings knows this. But then we are going to add the teeth to the collar. Pretty easy. There we go. Now she looks like a Blood Clan cat. And next, nose is pretty easy. Usually for animals, I would probably just go like this for the nose, but that's not how this works with a cat. I actually noticed this looks a little bit better from Bowtie My Soul's speed paint things. You want to go just below it and then make the nose. It makes it look a lot more cat-like, at least in my opinion. Let's see. And then we're going to do the eyes. Eyes are pretty simple. Anyone who knows me knows that I do anime eyes. Just make them super narrow for a Blood Clan cat. And next we're gonna go to the back legs. Pretty simple. Just basically go along with the outline that was provided when you made the other. Like so. Same goes for the other one. Normally I would do a dynamic pose and have the other paw raised or something, but for the sake of this tutorial being simple, I'm just going to be doing this. Since we're over here, I'm just going to make her chest fur look a little fluffier. Alright. And then, what am I missing? Alright. I'm not going to do coloring of her since I'm just using... Wait, hold on. I'm not saying my good heads over here. Alright, and since Twilight Bane is Scourge's daughter, she does have that one white paw. So just kind of scribble over here. And now, we take our pen. I do recommend you have an actually good artist pen. This is one I just kind of stole it from the office at work. I didn't steal it from the actual store. It was just it was in the pen holder by the computer, and it's just hey, this is a good pen. But yeah, I don't recommend stealing to anyone. Alright, so now we're gonna start inking. You just wanna go to the lines you want to keep and outline them. And keep in mind, ink cannot erase unless you're using one of those really, really, really weird pens. So, be careful with how you ink it. Gotta remember to let it dry, too. Don't feel bad if you want to add a few extra things. As you can see, I'm adding a little bit more hair to the top right there. Oh yes, something I almost forgot. With cats, you want to make sure they have chin fur. What is that? Not chin fur. You know what I mean, jawline fur. It makes them look a lot more like a cat. I'm just gonna add a little bit of eyelash here, since she's a she-cat. She's not exactly a happy kitty, so you can just add a little line here for a mouth, since I'm doing this kind of anime style. I don't connect it to the little mark. While I'm over here, I might want to add in the back ear too. Alright. I personally am not too worried about how the inking looks because more often than not, I am a digital artist. So that's not something I really have to worry about when I can just digitize it later and fix it. But, I know that there are traditional artists out there who don't exactly have that luxury. Eek. The other thing is that this would probably look a lot better if not for the fact that I was trying to draw this while keeping it in the view of my computer camera. I know at this point I'm just making excuses, but it's really hard to draw with a twisted wrist. Since this is a Blood Clan cat, I am going to add in some very massive claws and some little tiny ones underneath. Since they have that whole thing with the teeth and the claws, I still have no idea how they did that. But warrior cats, don't question it. Just add in that little white sock, since apparently that's what they're called. If you're going for a little bit more of a feral look, feel free to make your little corners a little bit more edged. If you're going for more of like a kitty pet look, you're going to want to round out those edges and maybe make them look a little chubbier. Which you can simply do by just rounding this out instead of making it a little dip. And then if I remember correctly, Blood Clan cats didn't have the things on their back paws, so just going to give her regular claws there. Give her a little bit of fluff. It's actually my personal headcanon, just because it's kind of ridiculous that Scourge was a very, very fluffy cat. I don't know, I just kind of find it funny that this big bad murder kitty was basically a tiny ball of fluff. Always make sure that when doing things like this, always make sure you turn the paper, not your wrist. Don't do what I'm doing. I'm just doing this for the sake of you guys being able to see. And as you can see, it's kind of making it a little bit messy. Alright, and now just the last leg. Alright, and then I'm not going to do coloring today, so just add the signature here. Alright. There we go. I may digitize this later, but, you know, here's the cat. You can, of course, erase all the line marks if you wish. If not, that's perfectly cool too. So, that's about it. Let me know if you guys want me to do this again. I've got plenty of other things. I really want to show you guys how to draw my original blood dragon species, so that'd be fun if you guys were interested. Let me know in the comments. So, as always, everyone, this is Houndoom Mega Master, Moon Story, whatever you want to call me, signing out, and, go love yourselves.